All right. I want to welcome everybody to today's conversation. My name is Alexis Green. I am a proud member of the Brave Health Committee. Brave within itself has various committees that their platform is to empower and educate and enrich the Black community. Okay, so as far as the health committee goes, our lane is to empower, enrich, educate about sexual health, mental health, physical health, and nutritional health. So today we're going to talk about mental health, and we have one of the best to ever do it. Yeah, one of the best to ever do it in the building today. We have Tasha Parker. Tasha is a licensed specialist clinical social worker. She's also an advanced clinical hypnotherapist. That's very interesting. We're going to talk about that too. Even though it's not in the questions, we're going to have to talk about hypnotherapy. All right. She possesses a master's in public administration, and she's currently seeking her PhD in community psychology. Y'all help me in welcoming Tasha Parker. All right, Tasha, tell us about yourself a little more. Besides the professional stuff, where you from? How are you?
I'm from Wichita, Kansas. This is where I reside, where I work. I have a little private practice. I'm not going to say little. I have a private practice here. You know, you have to be careful how you speak about yourself.
Yeah, that's major. That's major.
Ain't nothing little about me. Let's see, what else? I've been doing clinical work for probably about 10 years, working with people. Oh, man, I feel like forever. 14, 15, since I was young. And so I'm thankful to be a part of this and able to discuss mental health and the importance in the Black community. And so gratitude to you for having me. It's going to be fun. Let's get it done.
Thank you for accepting the invitation. We went through some different channels. We got mixed up here and there. We took a right and we should have took a left, but we finally here, and I'm glad to have you. Not only is Tasha a great person to talk to about therapy, she's just a great person in general. She's fun. We are friends, so
yes.
It's gonna be fun today to talk about something that's serious as seeking therapy. Just with somebody who has so much experience in this field as she does. So we're gonna get it rocking real quick with our first question. All right. How do you choose a therapist? What advice would you give the Black community about choosing a therapist?
You know, I always tell people you gotta shop around. Like just because the first person you go to, like you don't have to stay with them. As well as, you know, it's difficult to find Black practitioners, but there's a lot of resources now in communities, even nationally, where there are websites, and I should have brought that information here, where you can, like, they have lists of Black clinicians in your community. And so I think the biggest thing when you present is, well, you know, you're your best advocate. Nobody can advocate for you like you can advocate for you.
That's right.
And I always say, if you don't feel like you can build a relationship with somebody, because that's what therapy is all about, it's a relationship. And it's an intimate relationship, because you're sharing things with this person that you may not share with anybody ever, right? And you have to be able to build that relationship, because with that relationship, it comes trust. I'm not going to trust you to guide me if I don't feel like we vibing.
Right.
And so I think that's the biggest thing, is shop around, ask questions, you know, ask people who go to therapy. You know,
that's a big deal too, because some people don't want to admit that they go to therapy. It's just like a stigma in the Black community, you know, talking about that. I think it's getting more open with the millennial cohort that, okay, I do go to therapy, you know, this is why. But so many people think that you have to have certain things going on in order to go to therapy. And we just want to make, within the health committee for Brave, we want to make it known that it's okay to go to therapy. Matter of fact, it's crucial and vital that you find therapy. And that it's good to talk about it, to make it normalized. I should get a shirt that says normalize therapy. All right, normalize it.
legit. Well, you think about it. If I have a foot problem, I'm gonna go to my podiatrist because that's what they
Amen.
do. So I have an issue in my life or with my emotions, I'm gonna go talk to a therapist. That's
Right.
what they do. I mean, literally, that's what they do.
That's
That's their
right.
job. And I can read a self-help book because that's popular now. I
Yeah.
can read a self-help book. I think spirituality is important too. But at some point in time, I got to be able to put my feet on the ground and deal with my real life problems.
Amen. That's a great way to put it. And I mean, if we could just focus in on what it is, like it's not something that's bad to talk about. It's not something, you know, because I mean, that's why we want to reach out and help, because some people, just like, some people don't, black people don't think they need to go to the therapist. They don't think they need to go to the doctor. They don't think they need to do this, do that. So we just want to make sure that as black people that we focus in on our health holistically. Sometimes we miss the mark on just focusing in on our health. We worry about so many other things, but our health gets missed. And so our platform is, here are the things you need to focus on. Let me educate you on where to find them and why you need to find them and why they're important. And so, yes, when you choose a therapist, make sure you find somebody you can relate to, somebody that you can open up to, and somebody that you can get up on there and really just dive into the things you need to dive into so that you can start healing. Because the better your mental is, the better everything is in your life. And that's just facts. I mean, the person who
And
knows.
you want somebody to push you,
Thank you.
right? You want somebody to push you. The gym I work out at, they have this motto, get more life. Like that's the motto. We trying to get more life. And I think that's what therapy is about. Like you're getting more life, and not just normal life, it's healthy life. It's a difference between me surviving and then living. And then after that, when I start thriving, boy, what's next? I think we all deserve, as Black people, we deserve to thrive.
And that's it. That's what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get out of the mentality of surviving and making it day to day. We want to be able to look towards the future, and really be able to have a healthy outlook on what's ahead. And therapy is a big part of that. I really believe that. All right, let's go to the second question, because I think it really dives into some of the stuff we deal with when we talk about therapy. So, what are some common misconceptions when trying to seek a therapist? What are some things that Black people just misconstrue in their minds, just socially, emotionally, about seeking a therapist?
I can't afford it.
There you go.
That's no one. I can't afford it, right? And you can't, like, there are a lot of resources out there to help provide free services or reduced rate services. There are some clinicians that see people for free sometimes. I know sometimes I do. I don't mind doing some pro bono work. If somebody show up and they're ready to do the work, I'm okay, let's do this. And so I think the one thing is, I can't afford it. And I think the next thing is time. Feel like I don't have the time. You telling me you can't pull an hour every other week? You can't pull an hour once a month? At minimum, you telling me you can't find an hour in your day to go take care of yourself? You better get out of here with that. And then I think the most stigmatizing thing is, well, then people gonna think I'm crazy. Well, we all crazy anyway. Like, let's just call it what it is. Like, we don't know what's going on. You're right. Some of us accept it, other ones of us don't. And then it's like, well, I don't want nobody in my business. Therapists we have confidence, like we have limitations of what we can share, confidentiality, all those different things.
Like the doctor.
Right.
Medical doctor.
And so, yeah, it's just like it. And I think you have to get out of your own way. And so, yes, it is scary. But, what's her name? Brene Brown says it best. There's no courageous act without vulnerability. Right? And it is vulnerable going to a stranger that you don't know to lay it on the table. Right?
I think personally, I'd rather have a stranger. That way you don't know who I know, so you can't go back and tell them if you did decide to tell. Oh, man.
Well, it's the truth. And we have to diagnose. Like, I have to put something on the paper, but it ain't, we call it squishy diagnosis. Like, an adjustment disorder, that ain't nothing. I could be adjusted to moving into a new house, and that's just it. Like, And so I think people sometimes are uneducated of the process and how that can impact them. And it's more so it's an eternal thing that typically we're projecting it on. And so
that makes sense. That makes sense. So that's what we try to drive home here. Let's stop the misconceptions. Let's get educated on the different subjects that we might not know much about, and then let's see what we can get out of it to make us better holistically. That's the thing. We want holistic change within the Black community, and the different platforms within Brave touch on all of those things. Specifically within health, we really want to get the Black community on board with challenging themselves to really look at their mental health and seek help um, in the mental health area. All right.
mm-hmm.
So, next question: what should you expect when you go to see a therapist? Like, how long is it gonna take? And like you said, how much does it cost? Like you said, it doesn't cost much, but how much does it usually cost? Are there insurances that actually, help you with paying for therapy? All of those things. So what can we expect when we do finally say, hey, I want to get a therapist and I want to go to these counseling sessions? What can I expect when I arrive?
Well, I think a lot that depends on who you're going to and where you're going to, right?
Okay.
So a lot of community mental health agencies, they're going to provide free or reduced services. Now, it may limit the type of practitioner that you can see, right? But it depends. Financially, a lot of insurances do cover mental health therapy. Some of them don't. So a lot of times you can just pay your copay. But if you have an insurance that you met your deductible, you may pay nothing. There are people like I take insurance, I take cash, and I have a sliding fee scale,
All right.
all different types of things. And depending on what you've been through, because let's be honest, there are a lot of Black women who have been victims of domestic violence and all different types of things. And there are some resources in your counties that often pay for victims, with people who have been victimized. We ain't victims. Me being victimized and a victim make the same thing now.
There you go. Tell them.
We survived. All right.
Tell them.
Get out of here. And so, but they will pay for a certain amount of services. Sometimes your employer will pay for 6 sessions or 5 sessions, things like that. I think the time you spend with the therapist is going to depend on the therapist and you. Some clinicians are brief solution focused. You got this one problem, let's get in and get it done. Some people is like, oh, we're just going to chill and just keep coming and we'll leisurely talk, but then some of them, I'm a person like, no, we're here to heal. Like, we going to do work. Like, let's get it.
Mm-hmm.
And that depends on what you're experiencing. What have you experienced? Your commitment. Because therapy don't happen that 1 hour in the office or that 30 minutes or that 45 minutes. It happens when you leave. And if you can't put the work in when you leave, well, good luck.
And there you go.
Keep your money. Keep your money. Go ahead. So that's
with anything, though. I think people just aren't used to the therapist realm, the therapy realm. Well, that's with anything. When you talk about going to the doctor and maybe you have something going on, with your blood pressure, or maybe you have something going on with pain in your back. The doctor will give you prescriptions, or he'll give you things. He or she'll give you things that you need to do. And if you don't go do those things, if you don't go, take the medication you need, or if you don't go and get the exercise you need, or whatever the case may be, you're going to stay right where you are. It's the same thing with therapy. You go do the work.
It has to be consistent. And it's a journey. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's a journey. It's a continuum. Sometimes it sucks, right? And that's okay. But you got to keep going. And it ain't going to happen quick.
Right.
Because you are learning to sit with all of you, not just the you that you present to the world. It's like the you in the empty moment. That's the you who's coming to therapy. But typically, sometimes people come to therapy, they want to come be their best person. I'm like, well, things are fine. But I cried myself to sleep the last 3 nights. That's what you bring to the table. That's why you're here. I tell my people, I say, I don't care about the good stuff. Tell me what's really good. Like, how we got here. Like, what got you to this couch? Like, what's up? Like, let's be real for a moment.
Yeah.
It's not about like, I just want to improve. Oh, okay. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. So many times, especially as Black people, we are really good at hiding our emotions because we had to. for so long.
Right.
We had to be stronger. We had to be tougher. We had to um, be able to get past the things that actually hurt us and affected us negatively, because that's what we were. We just had to do. We had to deal with certain things in order to live. But I think we're growing into a new state to where we can have outreach too. We can reach out to therapists and get the help we need. We can talk about how we feel. That just like Black Lives Matter, just talking about how we feel like we're not getting the equity or the equality that we're afforded. And being able to talk
Mm-hmm.
about that. Um, and being able to just really hone in on exactly what we need within our communities, what we need personally, I think
Well, it starts with
it
us
empowers us.
individually.
Yes.
It starts with you. You have to be the change that you want to see. It's in my opinion, and this isn't scientific, that my ancestors put in the work. Like they struggled, right? They
Feel
did the
you.
surviving so I can live.
Hmm.
And so I can't let that be in vain.
Yes.
I have a grandmother who was a sharecropper who is alive today. And so that's why I'm going to always do whatever I need to do to take care of myself and give more life. So I'm not just getting it for me, I'm getting it for her, her mama,
Yes.
her mama's mama,
Yes.
anybody in the future.
That's powerful. That's powerful. The fact that you recognize that, and I think sometimes we miss the mark on that as well. We come so far, but we have so far to go. And I think sometimes because we're not in a certain state or a certain situation, we miss the mark on understanding um, the struggle that was before us. Okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't understand exactly how much people went through for us to be right where we are. Not saying that we're in a position right now that we like
Mm-hmm.
or want. We still need to strive for more, but we are in a position to strive and to make our mark and to make people respect us and give us what we need. We are in that position because of what happened before us, and we need to keep striving because of what happened before us. History is important. Change is important. The reason why we're able to change is because of the people before us. I really believe that we are empowered because of who became before us. Now they didn't have, the luxury of being able to go to therapy,
Right.
and dealing with whatever they was dealing with,
Right.
as far as injustices in the communities and just personal injustices overall. So we are blessed to be able to come to therapy, and I'm glad we're talking to you today about it. I'm encouraged about therapy as well. So our next question is, what are the risks of not seeking a therapist, and how does that impact the Black community? How is the Black community impacted because we usually don't readily seek therapy or a licensed therapist?
Well, we keep passing on the disruptive behavior patterns.
There you go.
That's what happens. The cost is greater than just me. The cost is those around me, right? And so, it's the concept of, I can say once I get this job, I get this bag, I get my own business,
There
I
you
get
go.
this husband, I get these kids and things. No, but if I'm still like not well, I'm gonna fill my cup up and everything around me will receive the abundance of it. They will
Mm,
receive my overflow. That's my community. That's my family.
mm,
That's my neighbors,
right.
right? And so by us not doing our work, the generational curses continue,
There you go.
right? And we have to decide what we gonna do with that. Do you want to be part of that? And
Right.
things are hard right now. I mean, they've always been hard for Black people, and I think it's more difficult right now because it's in your face. You can't escape it because of technology. But I think we have to decide, and I think this is where therapy can help you. How am I going to view this? So this bad thing has happened, and I don't know if I'm going to quote it as bad. Something has happened that I don't like and it doesn't feel good to me, but I don't know if I really want to label it as good or bad until I got to know what's happening next,
Right. Right.
right? Until what's happening next, then I can decide, okay, what's that going to be? Now, is it bad or good? But then can I even do that? Because there's always another something happening. And I've decided how I'm going to be with that. And it takes a certain type of mental space and capacity to do that. We're strong as a people, right?
Yes.
I'm not saying that we're not. We know that. Come on. We know
Hmm.
we're strong. you know what they say, like to be a Black person alive now in America, you come from the descendants of the strongest people who made that trek across water,
Amen.
right? In inhumane conditions. So don't forget that. But you know, you gotta think of therapy. It's containment. Like I'm developing a bigger container. How much can I hold? Right. And now I'm gonna expand it so I'm not overflowing with yuck. So now I can keep in perspective.
Yes.
Right. So now I can be angry but still manage myself accordingly. I
Yes.
can be sad and still manage myself accordingly. Because now I have this window of tolerance that I can see the big picture.
Yes.
Right. When I just have this small window of tolerance, it's like when an ant walks across, it looks so scary because my window's so small. But therapy enables me to grow my window and I can see what that is.
Right.
It's just an ant and I'm all right.
Yes. Yes.
And I think by not going to therapy, you keep your window small, your container small. What's next then?
There you go.
Bro.
Yes, therapy helps you to open up things that you didn't even have that you knew you had within you. And that's
when you learn yourself and love yourself on that deep level, which therapy can help you do, there's nothing the world can say. So when the world says you can't do that, you can go, okay, it's not even bothering me. Because I know that piece of me that wants to react. I know that's old stuff. That's false belief. That's trauma. So I can put that here and keep it going versus me reacting.
That's awesome. That's a word. That's a word for me. I know. I'm serious. I just know that sometimes, as people in general, we can react to stuff that we might not like, or when we feel injustice, or when we feel like we're not being heard, we can react quickly with anger, which is warranted at times, you know. But how do we channel the anger? I think therapy helps you to channel it to where you can utilize your energy to help positive. So you can utilize something maybe that negative that happened, and then channel that into something positive, like Brave or like becoming a therapist. You know, my career of choice is being a basketball coach. You know, things that I've learned and picked up over the years from coaches who I feel like, you know, weren't so good, or coaches who I feel like were great. You know, I channel all that and try to make it into something positive for the girls that I reach out to. And so, you know, I just think that's great how you put that, how therapy can make your container bigger to where you can take in more, channel it, and utilize it to something positive and be able to take on the negative and the positive, the overflow. It won't be an overflow so many times as it was in the past when we had small containers. So,
well, and it's okay to, like, I think right now, you know, when you even think about the Black Lives Matter movement, people talk about, well, no, we don't have to loot and riot. It's when I feel this anger and I feel powerless because I don't understand the different types of power that I can have, right? I'll respond accordingly.
There you go.
If I see myself as you see me, because self-fulfilling prophecy is real, I'm going to respond accordingly.
Right.
And I think by us going to therapy and doing that healing work, it also impacts how I am with my neighbors. It impacts how I am with my children. And then how they are with their children.
Co-worker, so, everything.
Right. Because I'm going to move different.
There you go. That makes sense. You enlightening me today. I'm feeling it. I feel good about it. I feel good about it. I hope the people are feeling good because I feel good about it. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. All right, is a mental health issue necessary to see a therapist? So do you have to have something clinically diagnosed, you know, about your mental health for you to go see a therapist? Or is therapy just something that everybody should probably look into?
Everybody should probably look into it. Yeah. I mean, I have people come into, like, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to quit my job. Right? That's
I've been through that.
Like, I'm just trying to adjust to figure what that is. Some people come and say, hey, I have this medical thing going on now, and I'm trying to figure out how to navigate that. Some people are like, oh, I just broke up with this man, or I just broke up with this woman. I'm trying to navigate that. It's not always those hard, heavy diagnoses. Now, sometimes in the process, you may figure some of that out, which is fine. Because if it's a chemical imbalance, I want to be treated. Because if I'm diabetic, I'm going to take my insulin.
Right.
Okay? And so there are other things that can be discovered throughout that process. but you don't have to have a serious diagnosis to come.
Amen. I think a lot of
Come
people
on,
do.
come on.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel like they have to have that clinical diagnosis, something to that effect, in order to need therapy. Which is nothing if you do have. It's nothing wrong if you do have a clinical diagnosis. I have family, friends with those actual clinical diagnoses that actually go to therapy. Then I also have family and friends who go to therapy who don't have those. Like you say, they might be juggling or deciding between something in their life, and they need a person who is trained to help them with that. They need a therapist, you know. So
Hmm.
I see nothing wrong with therapy at all. I think everybody should seek it, and don't think. I just wanted to reiterate: don't think you have to have a clinical diagnosis or somebody has to actually tell you you need to go to therapy in order for you to go to therapy. Okay,
Hmm.
if you're making decisions in life, therapists can help. If you have a clinical diagnosis, therapists can help. If you are, dealing with some emotions that you don't know how to handle, therapists can help. Therapists are crucial to our overall health, just day to day. And so if you can get to a therapist, which we all really have some form of access to a therapist. Like, I don't want people to think therapy, like you say, therapy is only for a certain kind of person or a certain set of people. Therapy is needed by everyone. We want to drive that home today, that therapy is needed and it's okay to go to the therapist, especially therapists
Right
like
now, especially in therapy, like,
Tasha.
well, and think about with the Black Lives Matter, like you can't escape that. And watching all the brutality that's happening amongst my people, like that's secondary trauma, and that can like have long term lasting effects. And so you go with somebody and process through that,
Process.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
process through that. Because remember, anything that my brain cannot process through and categorize, it's now trauma. And so if I'm constantly being exposed to these things on media, I'm being re-traumatized, re-traumatized, re-traumatized. And then I'm just what? How I'm dealing with it.
No,
I don't know. Because
you're
I
not
don't know
dealing with it.
myself.
Yep, you're not dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
many times we want to just cut it off. Oh, I won't watch it or I won't hear it, and then that'll help me. It's really not helping you.
because
You
you
have to
didn't
talk
heard it
about it.
already. You
Yeah,
didn't see
yeah.
it. You
You need,
know.
yeah, you need to talk about it. You need to get it out. You need to express how you feel, and let's figure out is how we can deal with how you're feeling. Okay, so many people feel like I can just feel how I want to feel, and that's it. No, you have to process it and deal with how you're feeling, and how can we take how you're feeling and make it into something positive, make it into something that we can actually manage from day to day instead of just hurting every single day from trauma. You think
And
that?
if you're not feeling, that's a problem too.
There you go. There
If
you
you're
go.
not feeling, that's a problem too. Because some people like, well, it don't bother me. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah. How can it not bother you? You
But because
know?
I'm disconnected. Like I spend my life being disconnected from everything because our biggest fear is that if I allow myself to feel an experience, then it won't stop.
Mm.
It always stops. Good or bad times, none of them last. Like
There
I
you
like my
go.
body is not equipped to like deal like to be in this state forever.
Mm-hmm.
But our fear is if I go there, it ain't gonna stop. So no, thank you.
There you
I'm
go.
fine.
There you
I
go.
ain't worried about it. Okay.
Okay.
Now.
You're gonna worry about it one day though.
Right? All fun and games until you're 65 years old and you got body pain that ain't got nothing to do with physical stuff.
There you go.
Now, don't get me started on that.
Okay. We got time.
That's a whole nother day.
My thing is when people who say that like, oh, I'm not gonna worry about this and that. I feel like sometimes just as people in general, black, whatever, just as a human being, sometimes we're disconnected because it's not hitting home, and it's not hitting somebody that's close to us, or it's not hitting us actually, and so we don't feel it. Like I can feel it when I watch certain videos of a man getting shot in his back 7 times. I can feel that. I can feel emotion. I can feel sad for that person, for his kids, for his family. That's just how I function emotionally. I can feel like, man, that's crazy. Some people, unless it's their actual brother or dad or uncle or sister or mother, they think, oh, it has nothing to do with me. But what we have to start realizing as Black people is that everything that happened has something to do with us because of society and how they see us and how they treat us and how they view us. It has something to do with it's all encompassing, it's all connected, it's a web that we have to start breaking down and just start attacking. And this is how we attack it: getting therapy, making sure that our mental is ready to deal with these things, and then we can start branching out to other things. And within Brave, we have different platforms that help you to get to those certain levels, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get you to understand that you have to have your mental together in order to deal with these things. And it doesn't matter if it's not your family or your friends that are getting hurt. Our people are out here getting hurt, and we have to do something about it. And it starts with us getting ourselves individually together so that we can branch out and help others. Would you think, is that a good synopsis of it?
Preach.
There you go. We're not gonna preach today. We're gonna, if you hear the truth, say amen. Amen.
All right. Can I get an amen?
Tasha Parker, last question. You ready?
Yeah.
What are the benefits of seeking a therapist versus going to a friend or a family member? So many people in the Black community say, I don't need a therapist. I talk to my friends about my problems and they give me great advice. So I talk to my grandmother. She has so much wisdom and she gives me great advice. I don't really need a therapist because I get advice and help from my friends and family. So what are the benefits of a therapist? Why should I seek a therapist when I have somebody to talk to already?
Well, because that's called support. Me talking to my friends, my family, that's support. I want to heal. If I want to heal, and gain a different skill set, I need to go to somebody who does this. That's why. Like my uncle can probably mess with my car. Like he can do some stuff to it, but eventually I think I may have to take it to the mechanic.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. It's to understand if support is great, we all need support. One of the number one things that will dictate how well somebody recovers from mental health issues or emotional health issues or behavior health issues is the type of support that I have. And so it's good that you have support, but can they help you heal? Because also sometimes it's the blind leading the blind.
Hey man, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking the blind leading the. If you hurt and you think you're getting good, quote unquote, good advice from your family or your friends, they probably hurt too. So it just hurt people leading hurt people. And we're not healing. We just giving each other reassurance within our hurt. Oh, you hurt, I'm hurt. Let's just be hurt. I feel like therapists give you that chance to get out of that hurt stage. That's my opinion. I don't know what the professional would say, but
it's legit. Because my friend may say, don't worry about it. It ain't nothing.
There you go.
My therapist is going to tell me, hey, it's okay to be upset about that as you should. It's okay to feel that right there.
Yeah.
Let's move through that.
Yeah.
Right, and that's different. I mean, every now and then you may have a friend who knows a little bit of something, but it ain't the same.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm married to a heart doctor, I'm sure talking to him enough, I may be able to do some simple heart procedures. But at some point in time, it's going to hit the fan and I'm going to be, I don't know what to do.
There you go.
Right?
That's exactly right. I feel like it's not just talking. Like people think therapists are somebody you sit on the couch and just talk to. And that's no, they are licensed and educated on how to help you process and how to help you heal. It's not just a talk. Yes.
Well, and you learn yourself. We teach you how
go.
to, just like I tell my people that people are always telling you a story. They telling you the story whether they know they're telling it, right? Sometimes they're saying it without words. And so as a clinician, I'm taught to sit back and explore the story, to find the story, to read the story. And most of us not trying to do that. We're just listening. No, I'm listening to the story.
Yeah.
You can tell me a story without being aware that you've done it.
Yeah.
And so now let me tell you about the story you just told me about you. Right?
I think that's
friends can't do that.
Yeah.
Friends can't do that.
They can't do that. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I think that's interesting how much insight a therapist can give you beyond what your friends or your family or yourself can. Even yourself, you don't know yourself as well as you think. So many people, I know myself. You know, I know this and that about me. I know my behavior and why I do it. But do you really? A
Come
therapist?
sit down. Come sit down with Tasha for an hour, and
There
I'll
you
tell you
go.
if you really know it. I love when people say, "Oh, I know what." Okay, come on, come talk to me. Let's see what you. Because
And
the first part of that, you got to learn yourself, all of you. So let's
there you go.
see. Okay,
There you go.
let's see what you know, baby.
And as Black people, sometimes we hear that and we say that sounds quirky, it sounds weird. Oh, do you know yourself, or this and that? But it's a real thing to actually dive into what you've seen, what you've heard, what you've been through, how that process through your mind, and then now how do you deal with stuff because of these things? How do you see things because of the things you've seen, growing up, or relationships, just day-to-day interactions. How do you process based off of what you've seen, what you've heard, and what you've been through? I think therapists give us way more insight than any family member or any
Mm-hmm.
friend that can give. And that's just what you're trying to do it. You're trying to do it.
Well, and you think about because of the oppression that Black people have faced, there's a lot of traumatic things that we experience, like from babies to forever, that have been normalized in the Black community,
There you go.
right? Because these are things that have just been out of our control
There you go.
and things that we've just been used to, and it's actually trauma. Like
Mm-hmm.
that ain't supposed to be what people go through, but we've normalized it,
Mm-hmm.
right? That alone tells post-traumatic slavery syndrome is real. That's real. And we have to address these issues. Or they just keep going. It just keeps going. And it's bigger than us. It's bigger than us, right? Because if I'm just taught, I don't show emotion, right? Because that's something that's been passed down because at one point in time it came at a cost,
There you go.
right? At one point in time, like I'm gonna play dumb. At one point in time we had to pretend like we couldn't read and stuff like that. Right? Those are
Hey,
things that
hold
are
on,
embedded in
hold
us.
on. Don't give them all of it. You need to make
Don't
your check. You got to make your check. Don't give them all of it. No, I'm
But
playing.
it's legit though. Because
Yeah,
normalize those things.
there you go. That gave me some insight. Playing dumb. Okay, yeah. And people don't want to. As Black people, sometimes other people have taught us or have gotten into our space and said, forget about those things, and those things didn't happen to you personally, or that was so long ago, it doesn't affect you now. But you are miseducated and misguided if you think that things in the past that happened to Black people in the past aren't trickled down, aren't passed down to us today.
Right?
Everything is connected. Everything affects everything. Okay, it's a domino effect. Whatever you want. I don't have a professional term for it, but I know it affects all the way to today. From
No,
back
you
then to today, I know it
yeah,
does.
yeah. No, you're 100% right. And I think at the end of the day what it comes down to, I have a friend who's Jewish. I like to study Judaism with her because it's really like psychology. It's cool.
Yeah.
Uh, but one of the things they talk about is humility, the importance of humility and balanced humility. Because humility is that, and anytime I talk to anybody, I always talking about humility. If I do a panel discussion, if I do an interview, I'm always talking about humility because they talk about humility is the right to occupy my space and to know that I can occupy my space and have this space and show up to occupy my space.
That's a word.
And me
Okay.
occupying my space and impact you to occupy yours. You
Yes.
just can't have mine. And I
Yes.
recognize you can't have mine. And
Okay.
so if there's a seat, I'm gonna take up enough space for me. And if that means that you have to be uncomfortable on your side, that's on you because I'm only taking enough space for me. Now if I lay it out on the bench, that's different because now me occupying my space is impacting you to occupy yours. So I'm gonna take what I need.
Right.
And we have to know that. Like I have the right to occupy my space. And
Yes.
when I'm mentally well, I recognize that. Because you can't disempower me. You can't tell me nothing about me.
There you
So
go.
when you tell me, oh, you too loud, oh, you too angry, I can go, I'm not interested in what you think about me.
Thank you.
You can tell me what you need, or I'm moving on. And I can say that authentically
Yes. And
and be okay with having you deal with it.
yes, and I think certain words or certain verbiage have been we have been conditioned to take those words and make them into something negative because of the others, because of other people who use those words to put us down. What's wrong with being angry about things that we need to be angry about? You know?
How you gonna tell me not to have a chemical reaction? I'm gonna punch you in your face and tell you that don't hurt.
Thank
Like
you.
how you gonna tell me how I feel? If you want to
Yeah.
make me mad, tell me how I feel.
Yeah.
And I don't have to justify. I'm mad because I woke up mad. Okay, I'm gonna deal with it.
I'm gonna deal with it.
Let me deal with it. Because most of the time we're uncomfortable with each other's feelings, right? Somebody get mad or someone start crying and everybody else in the room uncomfortable. Then they project that onto us, and then I'm like, well, maybe no, I'm still mad.
Exactly.
Y'all gonna make me more mad. Let me deal with my own mad.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. We have to be able to express ourselves in a way that is ourselves. And so I think for so many years we've been taught to be something different or conditioned to think that we have to be something different in order to occupy certain spaces. And it doesn't have to be that way. Yes, in the past, it may have had to be that way. But we're moving into a season where it doesn't have to be that way. And if somebody tries to make it that way, we have to step up and speak up and be able to express ourselves to where we're going to say, we're not going to let you, teach us that this is the way it has to be. We're going to be seen, we're going to be heard, and we're going to have equity, and we're going to be respected within our space. And we're fighting for that, within this organization, and just as a people, we got to keep fighting for that. So many beautiful Black people, intelligent, hardworking, just vocal Black people are working for this equity and this equality, and it's just good to see. It's been happening, and it needs to keep happening until people know that we're here and we're not going to stop talking about it. We're not going to stop building. We're not going to stop flourishing. You're going to see us. I'm going to occupy my space, as Tasha says, and you're going to respect that I occupy this space. You can come with me if you want to come with me, and if you don't want to come with me, I'm gonna keep fighting it, and that's just the way it is, and that's how.
You ain't gotta respect it, because that's on you. That's not on me.
Hey, tell them then.
There's that thought of like, I ain't going in. There ain't no box. I think at one point in time, my ancestors, like it was this box that was put in their head. They're like, we're gonna put you in the box, and that's where you go.
Yeah.
Now, this day and this age, we have to. Ain't no box.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put. I ain't worried about you putting me in the box, because the box was never real.
Right.
And so to not deal with my mental health, to not deal with my physical health, to not keep myself educated, I'm keeping the box.
Yeah.
I am playing in this imaginary box that was never real and was never meant for me.
Right. Let's go.
No, thank you.
Let's go.
No, thank you.
Let's think outside the box. That's real cliche, but it's real. Think outside the box. Now, I will say our ancestors had a different situation, a different environment. I might have did what I had to do in order to live.
If they didn't do that, we wouldn't be here.
Right. I would have did what I had to do.
Right. But now things have changed.
Thank you.
When I hear my grandmother talk to me about her stories of growing up in the South as a sharecropper, boy, I set that box on fire. I ain't going in the box. Ain't no more box.
Yeah.
She did her time in the box for me, her, and everybody. Like, ain't no more box.
Yeah. That's real. We have been afforded a different opportunity than them. I never say better or worse. I always try to say different. We've been afforded a different opportunity to express ourselves. They expressed themselves how they could at that time. And I'm grateful and glad. I just don't like when people say that our ancestors were weak and that they were not where they needed to be. They were stronger than I probably could ever be.
Right?
But I think people adjust to whatever they have in front of them, and they do what they can. So right now in this space, no, we aren't where we need to be, but we have some things afforded to us where we can fight and we can stand up, and if we just put some effort towards it, we can make change. Okay, it may take a little while, but we can make change. Knocking down doors, knocking down walls, piece by piece, conversation by conversation. Election by election, whatever the case may be, we're gonna do it if we keep focusing and fighting and just keeping in mind that somebody fought for us to be here, and we need to fight for the people after us to be somewhere different. We want to be better than where we started. We want to be further along in this journey. All right. So I can't let you go without asking you about the hypnotherapist. How does that work?
Listen, it is probably the, it is not probably. It is the most profound healing experience I've ever been a part of my life. And so I'm advanced trained, so I can do this 2-year internship, which what they didn't tell us was really group therapy. They didn't tell us all that. So for over 2 years, we was going to learn more about the craft, but you was also doing your work in the process. And it's something about being able to have a corrective experience, right? And emotional release and getting to the root of it, right? Because I didn't wake up at 20 and say I'm not good enough. There's a little girl in me who decided that a long time ago.
Right.
And it's not about intention. And to be able to go back and do that work and give that little girl a voice and say, hey, that ain't me. That was you. No. Man, that's healing. Yeah. I love hypnotherapy. Boy, that's my jam, baby. I love it.
Take me through a hypnotherapy session. How does it work? Is it like on TV when they put the watch in front of you and say, go to sleep?
No.
You know, like
no, you ain't going to sleep. No, it's about 2 hours. I always schedule 2 hours because I'm usually going to have you under for about an hour and a half.
All right.
I have extra 30 minutes. And it's really just deep relaxation. Like I'm taking you out of your conscious brain, right? And so now you're not fighting that. Right now you're just here in the moment. Because your brain doesn't forget anything. It just becomes overloaded at some point, so it just pushes it to the back.
Okay.
And so typical hypnotherapy, I mean, we go in whatever you want. Some people are like, oh, I want to go in. You know, they don't want to do nothing real. They're like, I want to go in for overeating. Next thing you know, we down here, you got mama issues. It ain't got nothing to do with it. It's disruptive. That's what it's about. Because what it really does is it helps disrupt these negative patterns of behavior. And it also changes our negative belief system. We all have this negative belief system. And a lot of us don't like to acknowledge it, but also ego steps in and tell us, oh no, it's not the truth. But we have all these negative beliefs about self, and it impacts the way we move through the world. And so hypnotherapy allows you to go through, clean that out. Okay. And it's on a different level.
Okay. That's unique right there. I never thought about hypnotherapy. I've heard you talk about it just in our social interactions. I'm just like, that sound wild to me. Like the fact that you go to these different areas of your mind and pull stuff out, it's crazy to me. I'm interested in it. I think I would like to do it. Huh?
I need to come down there and give you a
session. I think I would like to do it. And just see, because like you said, overeating is funny that you said, because I deal with it. I overeat, and I just love to eat beyond what I probably should eat. It's a problem. It is a problem. It's something negative about me that I've dealt with my whole life. I've always been a little bigger my whole life, and so I always wonder, why do I overeat? Why do some people overeat? Why do some people not overeat? And so maybe I got some, what you say, mama issues or something like that.
Hey, it could be mama issues, control issues, because as a little person, you can't. That's one thing I am in control.
Yeah. Now I don't think I got mama issues. I probably got control issues. A lot of them. Nah, I had great parents who did the best they could and all that stuff, but I probably do have control issues for the most part. I want to thank you for showing up today. This is great insight. I want to shout out Erica Greer for coming up with all these questions. She basically was the production part of this, and so she's awesome. We make up the health committee here at Brave, and so we are elated and excited about bringing physical, mental, sexual, and nutritional health just tips and education to our community as Black people. I wanted to make sure that everybody knows how to get onto our social media. It is at the original Brave. This is where we'll post our different information that we want to disseminate. We'll also have a podcast eventually where you can listen to these different interviews from all the different committees within Brave. And we just want to help empower and educate and just enlighten our community on the different things that we need in order to grow, in order to advance, okay? To take what our ancestors did, like Tasha said, to take what our ancestors worked for and fought for, and then grow it and advance it for the future. Because at some point, these people gonna have to give us our equality. They're gonna have to give us our equity. It's gonna have to be done. Okay, if they want to.
Are we gonna take it?
I'll take it. They're gonna have to
and
stop
I don't
killing
need you
us.
to give it to me.
They're gonna have to stop killing us.
Right.
And that's just not physically. That's just not taking our lives like physically. Like they're gonna have to stop handcuffing us. They're gonna have to stop trapping our minds and putting us in a box, as Tasha talked about. And we're gonna have to start not letting them. We're gonna have to fight back by any means. And I really believe that. I love that by any means. I love that. I'm telling you, I love that by any means. Our means right now is a Zoom call, is podcast, social media. That's the means we have. That's the means we're gonna use, and we're gonna do it to the best of our ability by having great people who are educated on the subjects that we want to talk about. Tasha Parker, you one of the best. I appreciate you.
Thank you, love.
You look beautiful, girl. Them sister locks is popping, baby.
But girl, this little rope twist.
Yeah.
Little rope twist.
Show out.
All right.
Oh, do you got social media where people can reach you?
Like just in general?
Just in general, your social media that or do you have some kind of therapy social media, anything like that?
I mean, I don't be on my therapist Facebook like that, but it's I have a website. It's TashaParker.com.
There you go, TashaParker.com. That's where you can reach Tasha. Even if you don't live in Wichita, you can go to her website. I'm sure she has some great stuff on there for you.
Yeah, and always reach out. It's never above me. I tell people all the time, reach out to me because I, as an advocate of people, particularly my own people, I'm going to help you get where you need to be.
There you go.
You call me from Texas, I'll find you somebody in Texas. Like, we're going to work this out.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem ever doing that.
Awesome.
Ever.
That's awesome. Hey, let me tell you something. If somebody got a website, you know they legit. That's all I got to say. I don't have a website, but you do. So I'm sure that you're legit. I'm gonna have to get a hypnotherapy session set up one day and see what's going on with me mentally for this overeating so I can lose this weight.
Yeah, baby.
But thank you for today. We are grateful for your time. We probably gonna be talking to you again eventually because you have so much insight, and we hope that people are reached, enlightened, and educated by this podcast today. Like I said, visit at The Original Brave for all our updates, all our information that we're gonna be disseminating. Keep up with us. We're gonna keep doing this. And just advance our people as much as we can day to day. All right?
All right now.
All right. Talk to everybody later. Have a great day.